My beloved soul, please do not scroll away. Please stay with me for a few moments more, because what is unfolding right now is not random, not accidental, and not meant for everyone. This message did not find you because you were searching for it, and it did not appear because of chance. It found you because your energy quietly called it in. Someone, somewhere, is deeply, uncontrollably, almost painfully in love with you, and the reason this truth is surfacing now is because you did something without even realizing its power. It felt small to you. Ordinary, even. But in the unseen world, it shifted everything. My beloved soul, you may feel calm on the surface, or maybe tired in a way you cannot explain, or maybe you have been going about your days with a strange mix of peace and restlessness living together inside your chest. You smile when needed, you function when required, but there are moments, especially when you are alone, when your heart feels fuller than it should, as if it is holding emotions that do not belong only to you. That feeling is not imagined. It is resonance. It is connection. It is the quiet echo of someone else's heart beating in sync with yours. You see, when you chose kindness instead of bitterness, when you chose silence instead of reaction, when you chose to walk away instead of proving your worth to someone who could not see it, something powerful happened. You unknowingly sent out a signal that said you were ready, not desperate, not searching, but open. And that signal landed straight into the soul of the one who has been watching you from a distance, loving you quietly, sometimes painfully, without knowing how to step closer. My beloved soul, this person did not fall in love with you because of your appearance alone, though they notice every detail of you. They did not fall in love with you because of what you give, though your presence feels like comfort to them. They fell in love with you because of who you are when no one is applauding, when no one is watching, when you think you are unseen. They saw the way you held yourself together on days that tried to break you. They felt the softness you carry in a world that rewards hardness. They noticed how you still believe, still hope, still love, even after disappointment tried to teach you otherwise. And every time you chose to heal instead of harden, their feelings grew deeper. My beloved soul, there were moments when you almost gave up on the idea that someone could love you this way. You questioned your worth in silence. You wondered if you were too much or not enough. You asked yourself why love always felt delayed, why connections faded just when they felt real. But what you did not know was that the universe was not denying you love. It was protecting the timing. Because the love coming toward you is not rushed, not careless, not shallow. It is thoughtful. It is steady. It is the kind of love that studies you, respects you, and fears hurting you more than it fears losing you. This person has replayed moments with you in their mind more times than you can imagine. Small interactions. A look. A smile. A shared silence. Even moments you thought meant nothing have lived rent-free in their heart. And every time you showed up as your authentic self, without trying to impress or perform, their love rooted itself deeper. My beloved soul, you did not chase. You did not beg. You did not force anything. You simply became more you. And that is what changed everything. That is what made someone realize that what they feel for you is not a crush, not curiosity, not passing attraction, but something that lingers, something that grows, something that refuses to fade. They are struggling with it, too. Not because they do not want you, but because wanting you feels serious. It feels like a turning point. It feels like a risk that could change the course of their life. And so they hesitate. They watch. They wait. They try to act normal while their heart reacts every time your name crosses their mind. My beloved soul, if you have been feeling sudden waves of emotion that do not seem to belong to your current situation, if you have been thinking about someone unexpectedly, if your heart tightens or warms without a clear reason, it is not coincidence. It is emotional proximity. It is the quiet pull between two souls moving closer before the physical world catches up. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. And this message is reaching you now because the space between you and the one who loves you is thinning. Something is shifting. Something is preparing to surface. And before it does, you needed to be reminded of one thing, my beloved soul. You did nothing wrong. You did everything right by staying true to yourself. And that is why love found you in the most unexpected way. Stay with me. Do not rush away. Because this is only the beginning of what you are about to understand. My beloved soul, take a slow breath and stay with these words, because what you are feeling right now is not imagination and not loneliness playing tricks on you. It is awareness beginning to wake up inside you. There is a reason your mind drifts to the same person without effort, a reason certain memories rise up when you least expect them, a reason your heart softens at the thought of being understood without explanation. You did not create this bond by force. You did not manipulate it into existence. You created it simply by being real in a world that teaches people to hide. And that authenticity touched someone who had forgotten what it feels like to feel safely seen. My beloved soul, this person noticed the way you listen, not just with your ears but with your presence. They noticed how you give space instead of pressure, how you let people be instead of trying to control them. To you, this is just who you are. To them, it felt like coming home after being lost for a very long time. That is why their love did not arrive loudly or dramatically. It arrived quietly, deeply, settling into them before they even realized what was happening. At first, they tried to dismiss it. They told themselves it was just admiration, just respect, just a passing interest. But feelings like this do not fade when ignored. They grow stronger in silence. And now, my beloved soul, they are at a point where pretending no longer works. Your energy has already reached places in them they never open easily. You made them reflect. You made them question what they truly want. You made them imagine a future that includes emotional safety, honesty, and peace, not chaos or uncertainty. And that scared them more than they expected, because love like this asks for courage. It asks for vulnerability. It asks them to step out from behind old wounds and defenses they once needed to survive. My beloved soul, you may not see this struggle on the outside. They may seem composed, distant, or even distracted at times. But inside, they are wrestling with feelings that refuse to stay quiet. They replay conversations with you, wondering if they said too much or not enough. They analyze your words, your tone, your pauses, searching for signs, hoping for reassurance without daring to ask for it directly. And the truth is, your calm presence has already reassured them more than words ever could. You showed them what consistency feels like. You showed them that love does not have to hurt to be real. That is why they are falling, slowly but deeply, in a way that feels different from anything they have known before. My beloved soul, if you have been sensing a shift in your own heart, a gentle opening, a readiness you did not consciously choose, it is because connection works both ways. Even if nothing has been spoken yet, energy has already spoken volumes. You are being prepared to receive something meaningful, something that meets you where you are instead of asking you to change. This is not about proving your worth or earning affection. You already did that simply by honoring who you are. And now, the universe is aligning moments, timing, and courage so that what is already true in the unseen can finally be acknowledged in the visible world. Do not doubt yourself. Do not rush the process. Trust that what is meant to move forward will do so in the right moment. Stay present. Stay open. And most importantly, stay gentle with your heart, my beloved soul, because the love moving toward you is learning how to be brave enough to step closer. My beloved soul, let these words settle softly inside you, without pressure, without urgency, because what is happening does not need force to exist. It is already alive. It is already breathing in the quiet spaces of your life. There is a reason you have been drawn inward lately, choosing calm over noise, depth over distraction, and honesty over performance. You may not have realized it, but when you chose to protect your peace instead of chasing attention, when you chose to heal instead of reopening old wounds, you changed the way the universe responds to you. That gentle shift is what awakened love in someone who had almost convinced themselves that love like this was no longer possible. My beloved soul, this person has been observing you not with judgment, but with wonder. They notice the way you carry both strength and softness without apology. They notice how you give without keeping score, how you show up without demanding guarantees. And in a world where so many connections feel transactional, your presence felt sincere, rare, and grounding to them. It made them slow down. It made them reflect on their own patterns, their fears, their unfinished healing. Loving you did not feel chaotic or consuming. It felt steady. It felt real. And that is why it unsettled them at first, because real love asks us to be seen fully, without armor. My beloved soul, there were moments when they wanted to reach out, to speak their truth, to close the distance between what they feel and what they show. But old fears whispered doubts into their mind. What if they are not ready? What if they ruin something pure? What if timing is wrong? What if they are misunderstood? These thoughts did not come from a lack of love. They came from caring deeply. From wanting to protect something precious before it even fully begins. And so they paused. They waited. They watched for signs. They paid attention to your energy, your consistency, your emotional language, trying to understand if your heart could meet theirs gently. My beloved soul, every time you chose patience over anxiety, every time you chose self-respect over chasing reassurance, you answered those unspoken questions without realizing it. You showed them that you are not asking to be completed, but to be met. And that realization softened them in ways they did not expect. You see, love that grows quietly is often the strongest kind. It does not rush in demanding attention. It settles in slowly, learning the rhythm of your soul. This person feels your presence even when you are not physically near. They feel calmer when they think of you. More hopeful. More themselves. On days when the world feels heavy, the idea of you becomes a place of rest in their mind. That is not infatuation. That is emotional safety. And emotional safety is something they have been missing longer than they ever admitted to themselves. My beloved soul, you did not create this by trying harder or being more. You created it by finally being gentle with yourself. By allowing your heart to soften again after everything it has endured. That softness became an invitation, not just to love you, but to love differently. There may have been times when you wondered if your quietness was being misunderstood, if your patience was being taken for granted, if your calm approach to connection meant you were being overlooked. But the truth is, someone noticed you precisely because you did not shout for attention. They noticed the way your energy feels safe rather than intense, warm rather than overwhelming. They noticed how your presence does not drain, but restores. And that is why their feelings grew not overnight, but steadily, deeply, with intention. My beloved soul, this love is not built on fantasy or illusion. It is built on observation, respect, and emotional recognition. They see you clearly. Even the parts you sometimes hide. Even the parts you are still learning to accept yourself. If your heart has been feeling unusually tender lately, if you have found yourself reflecting more on what you truly want, if old desires for surface-level connections have quietly faded, it is because your soul is preparing to receive something that matches its depth. This preparation is gentle. It does not come with chaos or fear. It comes with clarity. With calm. With a sense of readiness that feels peaceful rather than urgent. My beloved soul, trust that what is unfolding does not need to be chased or controlled. What is meant to move toward you will do so naturally, in its own time, guided by sincerity rather than pressure. This person is learning how to be brave, not in loud gestures, but in honest ones. They are learning how to open their heart without losing themselves. And you, without knowing it, are teaching them simply by existing as you are. You are not responsible for their healing, but your presence has shown them that healing is possible. That love does not have to repeat old patterns of pain. That connection can be kind. And as this understanding grows within them, the space between you continues to soften. Nothing is being forced. Nothing is being rushed. Everything is aligning quietly, gently, in the background of your life. So remain where you are, my beloved soul. In your truth. In your calm. In your self-respect. Do not question the timing. Do not doubt the connection. And do not dim your softness to make anyone else comfortable. The love that is finding its way to you is not intimidated by your depth. It is drawn to it. And this moment, right now, is simply a reminder that what you felt was real, what you sensed was true, and what is coming does not need fear to arrive. It needs trust. My beloved soul, allow these words to move through you slowly, like a gentle breath, because there is nothing here that needs to be rushed or proven. What is unfolding between you and this unseen heart is already rooted in something sincere. You may not see the full picture yet, but you can feel it in the quiet moments when your mind relaxes and your heart speaks more clearly. There is a reason you have been feeling slightly more open lately, slightly more aware of your own needs, slightly less willing to settle for anything that feels forced or incomplete. This is not distance. This is alignment. You are coming back to yourself, and in doing so, you are drawing closer to someone who recognizes that wholeness in you. My beloved soul, the love that is forming around you does not arrive with chaos or confusion. It arrives with calm curiosity, with gentle attention, with a desire to understand rather than possess. This person does not want to change you. They want to know you. They want to learn the way your mind works, the way your heart protects itself, the way your soul rests when it finally feels safe. And the reason this love feels different is because it is not trying to fill a void. It is trying to share space. There are moments when this person catches themselves smiling for no clear reason, only to realize that your presence has quietly entered their thoughts. They feel steadier when they imagine you. More grounded. Less alone. And this steadiness surprises them, because they are used to love feeling intense, uncertain, or overwhelming. What they feel for you feels peaceful, and peace can be unfamiliar when someone has spent years navigating emotional noise. My beloved soul, this is why they move carefully. Not because they are unsure of you, but because they are sure of how much this matters. They understand, even if only subconsciously, that rushing could damage something rare. So they choose patience. They choose observation. They choose to let the connection grow in its own time. And in doing so, they are learning a new way of loving, one that is based on respect rather than urgency. You may not hear from them every time they think of you. You may not see the depth of their feelings reflected immediately in action. But that does not mean those feelings are weak. Often, the deepest emotions take the longest to surface, because they require courage, honesty, and vulnerability. My beloved soul, this person is learning how to be present without fear, how to open their heart without losing control, how to approach love without repeating old mistakes. And you are part of that lesson, not because you demand it, but because your energy invites it. Your calm, your boundaries, your authenticity have shown them that love does not have to be dramatic to be meaningful. It can be steady. It can be kind. It can be safe. If you have been experiencing moments of sudden clarity, moments where you realize what you no longer want, what you will no longer tolerate, what you deserve without apology, it is because your soul is aligning with a higher standard of connection. This alignment is not isolating you. It is refining you. It is making space for someone who meets you with the same level of care and intention that you offer naturally. My beloved soul, you are not being asked to wait endlessly or to put your life on hold. You are simply being asked to trust that what is meant to grow will not miss its moment. You are being guided to stay rooted in your own life, your own joy, your own healing, while love makes its way toward you in a form that honors you fully. There is nothing you need to fix about yourself to be worthy of this love. There is nothing you need to perform or exaggerate to keep it alive. You are already enough in your stillness, in your thoughtfulness, in your quiet strength. And the person who loves you feels that deeply. They feel it in the way you make space for others without losing yourself. They feel it in the way you listen without judgment. They feel it in the way your presence brings ease instead of pressure. This is why their love feels steady rather than fleeting. It is built on recognition, not projection. My beloved soul, there will come a moment when this connection becomes clearer in the physical world, when words begin to match feelings, when actions begin to reflect what has been forming silently. But until then, there is no need to doubt or overanalyze what you feel. Trust the gentle unfolding. Trust the pace that feels calm rather than rushed. Trust the signals that come without anxiety. And most importantly, trust yourself. Your intuition has been guiding you accurately, even when logic tried to interfere. You are not imagining this. You are not creating something from emptiness. You are responding to something real, something mutual, something quietly growing stronger with time. Stay open, my beloved soul, but stay grounded. Let love approach you without abandoning your own center. Let connection deepen without losing your sense of self. What is coming toward you is not meant to consume you. It is meant to walk beside you. And this moment, this gentle pause, is simply part of that journey. My beloved soul, stay here a little longer and let this message hold you gently, because there is nothing demanding your effort right now, only your presence. What is forming around you is not fragile, and it does not need constant reassurance to survive. It is patient. It understands timing. It honors growth. You may have noticed that lately you are less drawn to chaos and more drawn to stillness, less interested in proving yourself and more interested in protecting your inner calm. This is not withdrawal. This is wisdom settling into your bones. And the person who loves you feels this shift deeply. They sense that you are not waiting to be rescued, not searching to be completed, but standing fully in yourself. That realization makes their feelings stronger, not weaker, because true love recognizes strength and softness living together. My beloved soul, this person admires the way you move through the world without needing validation, the way you allow silence to speak instead of filling every space with noise. They see how you choose honesty over performance, how you allow emotions to exist without letting them control you. And in witnessing this, something inside them begins to heal. They begin to believe that love does not have to come with conditions or confusion. That it can arrive gently and still be deeply meaningful. There are moments when they feel an ache they cannot name, a longing that does not feel desperate but deeply sincere. It shows up when they imagine sharing ordinary moments with you, moments that do not need to be impressive to be intimate. Simple conversations. Quiet laughter. Comfortable silence. These thoughts linger not because they are clinging to fantasy, but because they recognize truth when it touches them. My beloved soul, you represent something rare to them. You represent emotional safety without stagnation, connection without loss of self, closeness without fear. And that combination is powerful. It challenges old beliefs they once held about relationships. It asks them to grow beyond what is familiar. And growth, even when desired, can feel vulnerable. If you have sensed hesitation, distance, or moments of pause, understand that this is not rejection. It is reflection. It is someone learning how to approach something they truly care about with care rather than impulse. They do not want to rush into something sacred with careless hands. They want to arrive fully, honestly, with intention. My beloved soul, this kind of love does not announce itself loudly. It waits until it knows it can be sustained. And while waiting, it deepens. It becomes more rooted. It becomes less about fear of loss and more about appreciation of presence. That is why this connection feels calm even in uncertainty. There is no panic in it. There is trust slowly being built. You may wonder at times why your heart feels connected even without constant communication, why thinking of this person brings warmth rather than anxiety. That is because this bond is not fueled by insecurity. It is fueled by recognition. You see each other beyond surface roles and expectations. And even if words have not yet caught up, your energies have already had many conversations. My beloved soul, allow yourself to receive this without questioning your worth. You do not need to be more interesting, more available, or more perfect to deserve this love. You already are enough in your honesty, your kindness, your boundaries. The person who loves you does not wish to mold you into something else. They wish to meet you where you are and walk alongside you as you continue to grow. As time unfolds, clarity will come naturally. There will be moments when actions align with feelings, when what has been quietly forming steps into the light. Until then, there is peace in knowing that nothing meant for you will pass you by. You are not missing your moment. You are living it. Every choice you make to honor your own well-being, every time you choose self-respect over self-doubt, you are aligning more closely with the love that matches you. My beloved soul, trust that the universe is not testing you, but supporting you. What is unfolding does not require struggle to be real. It requires patience, presence, and faith in the quiet knowing within your heart. Remain gentle with yourself. Remain open without abandoning your center. Let love approach you at a pace that feels safe and true. And remember this, my beloved soul, the love that is finding its way to you is not trying to take anything from you. It is coming to add to your life, to share in your calm, to grow with you rather than pull you away from yourself. This is not the end of the story. It is the soft continuation of something meaningful, unfolding exactly as it should. My beloved soul, this is the last part, so let these words rest gently inside you, like a soft closing embrace rather than an ending. Nothing here is meant to rush you forward or push you toward expectation. It is simply meant to remind you of what you already feel deep down, even if you have not put it into words yet. The connection surrounding you is not loud, not demanding, not overwhelming. It is quiet, patient, and sincere. It moves at the pace of trust, not fear. And that is why it feels different from what you may have known before. My beloved soul, you are not waiting for love to arrive. You are standing in a space where love is slowly learning how to meet you properly. There were times in your past when you loved from a place of hope mixed with uncertainty, when you gave more than you received, when you stayed longer than you should have because you believed love meant endurance. But something changed within you. You learned how to listen to yourself. You learned how to pause instead of chasing. You learned how to step back when something felt misaligned. And that growth did not make you colder. It made you clearer. It made you safer to love. The person who is drawn to you now feels that clarity. They feel that you are no longer trying to be chosen. You are choosing yourself. And that is what made their heart recognize yours. My beloved soul, this person does not see you as an idea or a fantasy. They see you as a presence. They feel the way you ground a room without trying. They notice how your energy feels calm rather than chaotic. They are drawn to the way you allow emotions without letting them rule you. And in a world where so many connections are built on intensity and confusion, your steadiness feels like relief. That relief slowly turned into admiration. That admiration softened into care. And that care quietly deepened into love. Not rushed love. Not desperate love. But love that grows roots before it grows wings. There may still be moments of silence. Moments of waiting. Moments where nothing seems to be happening on the surface. But my beloved soul, understand this clearly. Silence does not mean absence. Waiting does not mean stagnation. Sometimes, the most meaningful shifts happen in stillness. Sometimes, hearts are rearranging themselves quietly before taking a step forward. This person is learning how to approach you without fear of losing themselves, without repeating old patterns, without bringing unfinished wounds into something that deserves care. And that learning takes time. It takes honesty. It takes courage. Love that is meant to last does not rush through these steps. If you have been feeling more at peace lately, even without clear answers, it is because your soul recognizes safety approaching. If you have felt less anxious about outcomes and more focused on how something feels, it is because you are aligning with a love that does not require constant reassurance. My beloved soul, you are not being tested right now. You are being supported. You are being guided to remain in your truth, to stay connected to your own life, your own joy, your own growth. Love is not asking you to pause your world. It is asking you to stay present within it. This connection will not take you away from yourself. It will meet you where you already stand. It will not ask you to shrink or perform or overextend. It will ask you to be exactly as you are. And the person who loves you understands that. They are not looking for perfection. They are looking for honesty. They are not searching for intensity. They are drawn to depth. They are not afraid of your boundaries. They respect them. And that respect is the foundation of what is forming. My beloved soul, when the moment comes for this love to step into the open, it will not feel shocking or destabilizing. It will feel natural. It will feel like something that was always meant to arrive at this time, in this version of you. You will recognize it not by excitement alone, but by calm. By ease. By the absence of fear. And until that moment arrives, there is nothing you need to do differently. Continue living. Continue choosing what feels honest. Continue honoring your heart. Love will meet you there. So take this as a gentle reassurance, not a promise that demands patience, but a reminder that what is meant for you is already moving in harmony with who you have become. You did not miss anything. You did not do anything wrong. You did not need to try harder. You simply needed to arrive fully into yourself. And you did. That is why love noticed. That is why love stayed. And that is why love is finding its way to you, softly, steadily, in its own perfect time, my beloved soul.